This is what you should do before you buy anything, if you ask me. Call the company up and see how hard it is to get someone on the phone at the service team, customer support, tech support, whatever you want to call it. Get somebody on the phone as if you have a question about the unit or there's a problem and you need them to help you. Trust me when I tell you, this is different at every company. No two companies are the same when it comes to this. And the ones that actually get you on the phone with somebody that day should be placed on the top tier of considering to purchase. You go to them because it's inevitable that there will be companies, a lot of them, and I could explain my experiences recently with you just to give you my own personal customer experience. Not a paid ad, no promotion, nobody's paying me. But I want to explain what it's like to deal with these companies. Number one, Universal Audio. Okay? If you want to get someone on the phone from Universal Audio, you know how hard it is? It's actually like they might call you eventually, or they might reply to your thing after you type in your name, your phone number, your serial number of your unit, your address. You fill out a whole thing. Then they get back to you when they get back to you. Now, I'm not saying they won't get back to you. What I'm saying is, who wants to wait for that? I wouldn't want to wait for that. And I had to experience this firsthand because I was considering an Apollo for a travel rig, had a question, tried to get someone on the phone, and I couldn't without doing that. Now, us creative people, we ride the creative wave. We want information when we want it. And I know I'm not Tom Lord Algae, I'm not Chris Lord Algae, but guess what? If I have a question, I want to be treated like somebody whose question is important, who they will get back to. I think it's a little ridiculous to make somebody fill out a form and then have to wait to hear back. That was enough for me to not want to deal with them. So I think if enough companies realize how important the customer service experience is when it comes to support, especially with audio gear, over enough time, things will go wrong. You can't help it. It's inevitable. It will happen. If it doesn't go wrong, you'll have a question. Either way, you got to get somebody to be able to talk to, because that puts that company way, way, way higher up on the scale of they care about you. Okay, so let me give you another example. Rupert Neve Designs. When I needed somebody at Rupert Neve Designs to help me with a question, because I own a lot of Rupert Neve Designs stuff, I called the number that I found online and I got transferred to tech support that day, that minute, on the phone, the same call. Didn't have to wait. I got their service department, the guy who was responsible for building these things, who knows the ins and outs, to explain to me everything I needed to know. And not only that, he took like an hour of his time to talk to me because I had tons of questions. Since I own a lot of different stuff, and since I had somebody on the phone who helped me with this one thing, I figure this guy knows a lot. Let me pick his brain about a few other things and just kind of iron out anything I didn't know. You know how valuable that is? It made me want to be a customer for life. So what I'm saying is there's certain things people do in companies that when they value the customer service experience, because we are engineers, we have questions, things go wrong, and we have people often waiting to have things happen that day. We need help that day. I don't want to wait for somebody to get back to me. I don't. So, and I don't think you guys do either, because even if you're not a professional studio, if you're just doing stuff for yourself, you might have your whole band there. You might have this creative idea you're trying to do, and now there's some issue technically, and you got to fix it. Why wouldn't you want the person to pick right up? So Rupert Neve Designs, A+ for their ability to put me through to somebody that day, immediately, while I called. I couldn't ask for more. Also, another company that does that, BAE. I talked about owning their preamps, and I own their version of the 1073. Amazing in the same way. I bought a BAE 1073 used on Reverb, okay? And something when you buy used, you know, maybe it's just because of me and my untrusting nature, but I'm always worried that something maybe has gone wrong. That's why someone might be selling it, or they decided to open it up and do some funny business by take out something and put in a different transformer or whatever. I mean, it could be anything, right? So I said to him, I'd like you to confirm for me that everything here is as it's supposed to. Can you do that? The guy said, sure. And this is another case where I called BAE. I got transferred over to their tech support that day, the service team that day. And somebody who builds the stuff, who knows what's up, the guy, the tech, calls. He says, yeah, man, just pop the top off it, take a bunch of photos, send them to me, and I'll tell you if it's all good. I said, are you kidding? That's amazing. I immediately popped the top, took like 20 or 30 photos, sent them over. The guy looked through everything while I was on the phone and was totally cool. He's like, yeah, man, this is exactly, I'm looking at the wiring, I'm looking at all the stuff, all good. It's exactly how it left the factory. It's perfect. That gave me peace of mind beyond belief, because when you buy things that are valuable, that are expensive, that you worked your hard-earned dollars for, you want to know you're going to get that level of service. Now, I couldn't ask for more from either of those companies, okay? Like, for example, just to give you all my whole experience, because that's what this is, not a paid ad at all. It's just my experience. When I wanted a phone number for Burl, couldn't find one, okay? Could not find one. So I own a lot of Burl stuff, but what you have to do is fill out a thing, and then they get back to you via email, which, like I said, I don't like. But I gotta say, they do reply usually the same day in email, but still, email is okay. I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the gesture. I'm paying all these, the money of Burl stuff, and that's the thought and the gesture. Great, but why can't I talk to some human being on the phone? Like, why can't I get all my questions out easily on the phone and make sure I feel great about what I'm doing and the answers to your questions and anything else I have? Why can't I add, like, I want the human-to-human phone call. I want the call. Why can't I get that? So for me, it's whenever I see that, I get very put off. So they do reply that day, which is great via email, but it is rather annoying that I can't actually get a phone number and talk to anybody. So that doesn't help very much. But another company, because I've dealt with a lot of companies recently, especially, and not with this video in mind, but just with the thought of, people need to know this. RME, I understand why people love RME now, absolutely. Because when I plugged in one of their devices, it worked flawlessly. And when I had questions about a potential other device, I was able to get someone, I think from Synthrax or something. They called me back immediately, and they were super knowledgeable and spent tons of time with me on the phone to answer any questions and figure everything out. So Synthrax, who I think is their support team or something in the US, I'm not sure, but thorough customer service there too. So, like, you cannot beat that sort of thing. And when there's companies out there doing that, to me, there's just no excuse for not wanting to put your phone number in to allow people to call you and ask questions. I just don't get it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, especially when you're spending serious dollars. And like I said, we all in audio buy new things. We can't help it. We always through time will buy new stuff. It's just part of what we do. Rather than buy a new car, I'd rather buy audio stuff. And maybe that's just me, but it's how I've always been, because this is what I care about the most, and I'll drive anything. All right. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's different. So do me a favor. I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean, also throw something in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But check this out. Boutique builders are great for this reason also. If you get a boutique builder who really believes in their stuff, it's somebody usually who's a relative genius. Like, give you an example, Crane Song. Dave Hill passed away. He was the owner, founder of Crane Song. He's the genius behind Crane Song. They made so much amazing stuff. A lot of people you'll see with the Avocat, monitor controller, Avocet, maybe it's called. I pronounce things wrong. I can't help it. But my point is, that thing was in almost every professional studio. Vance Powell has one. A lot of guys have one. You'll see them all over the desks. It's that green wheel, very common for a monitor controller. And that was something everybody loved. But Dave Hill in general stood behind his product so much, you'd often see him replying to emails directly and things like that. Dave was very involved in everything. And that's what people do who really, really care. And that's the actual even step up above the big companies. When you get boutique companies like that, you really sometimes can deal directly with the owner. And not only that, it's like then warranties sort of go out the window, because it doesn't matter what the warranty is. If you have a problem with their product that wasn't supposed to happen, like not you ran it over with your car or something else, like something just went wrong with it, It doesn't matter when it is. You send it to them. They'll usually fix it for you because those guys believe and stand behind their stuff. And these things weren't supposed to happen if something happens. So they'll obviously fix it. I'll give you another great example. JCF Audio. This is a company that flies under the radar, and only the top echelon of the top people even talk and know about JCF. That's another situation where, I was thinking about a JCF product recently, and we'll get to that a little bit later, but I gotta say, I got Josh on the phone. I was somehow lucky enough to get him on the phone. I felt like I had a celebrity on the phone with me. I was as nervous as somebody could be. It was like I had a rock star. I'm on somebody I really admired, Jimmy Page talking to me, and I'm like, oh man, I was practically stuttering. I'm just saying, because I know who he is, and I know what he brings to the table when it comes to audio. And the fact that I could get him on the phone to answer my questions, I don't know if there's anything better than that. To me, that might be the top of the top, but I understand it's not totally realistic in a bigger company for that to happen, but I don't know if there's anything better than that also. So, talk about putting your worries at ease. If a guy's getting on the phone to help and answer questions and this and that, then that if something goes wrong, he's going to be there and help you out to fix it. If it's something that was wrong from, something he did on his product that came to you. But that stuff doesn't happen because they put so much care and time and believe in their stuff more than anything. So, in other words, you're getting a product that has so much care, effort, time, thought into it. It doesn't just get done and leave. You know what I'm saying? It's really a whole nother beast altogether. And that's why if something happens, which people know, if you're dealing with electronics long enough, you're dealing with audio long enough, things sometimes happen. The dude would be there to help. The guy's going to help you fix stuff. It's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be a middleman in the way, and you got to send through here, and then you got to go there. They just want you to be happy, and they're not doing it for the review. They're doing it because they believe in their product and their work more than anything. There's a huge value to this. Well, I hope you dug the video. Do me a favor, throw something in the comments about your user experience with any companies, whether positive or negative. Or give me an idea for another video I should make or anything you have questions about. I hope you dug it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.